Hi everyone. Good to see some familiar faces and some new faces. It's been awesome to be a part of the 1 Million Cups community since we started coming back in January. So we're excited to present and tell you a little bit about us and what we do. So my name is Dylan Karchner.
And my name is Victor Johnson, and together we run Fenix. Fenix is a youth sports organization that focuses on the holistic development of young athletes and using the power of sports to give back to communities.
So
Yeah.
So we don't see winning games as like the priority for our organization. Instead, we're much more focused on highlighting the transferable skills that will apply for athletes to go on and live a life of fun and happiness outside of their career of sports.
And ultimately, we want our athletes to have just clarity and confidence with things that we go through in our everyday lives, like relationships with friends, family, school and education, mental and physical health, your job or your finances, and also like bucket list experiences, like things that you want to do in life.
So we try and teach systematic program values and skill sets in order for them to be able to live this out. So we want all of our Phoenix athletes to be able to exhibit that mental and physical confidence. We want them to be curious, ask questions. We want them to be accountable if they make mistakes. We want them to remain composed. All of these things apply both on and off the court, so it's something that we emphasize in our programming. Teamwork makes sense how it happens on the court, but as we all know, it has to happen off the court as well. That applies for all the different things. And we want our athletes to be resilient. Eventually, our athletes are going to be the leaders of the future, and we want them to become leaders in whatever field it is that they want to be leaders in. Maybe they do go on to a leader career in sports, whether it's an athlete or working in it, but maybe they work in science, technology, engineering, or math. Maybe they find themselves up here at 1 Million Cups one day talking about the small business they're trying to run, and you name it. We want them to be a leader in that field. So the problem with youth sport programs is there's a lack of a focus on holistic development within youth. The narrative is all about getting these kids to go be D1 athletes and getting these kids to go to the league and winning all these games and getting all these stats at a young age. We don't think that that's the proper way to go about things. 70% of kids quit sports by the age of 13, so that kind of shows that youth sports as a whole can kind of undergo a market shift.
And nationally, 1 out of 110 high school varsity players actually go on to play Division I basketball. In Washington, it's a little more competitive. It's 1 out of 162. So we think there's just a really narrow focus. And we feel like kids need to find passions outside of what they do, just outside of basketball. We think the kids are not given tools to be able to be leaders in society in whatever they want to do.
So we think, what if instead it'd be great for sports programs to prepare kids for job interviews?
Or to just prioritize having fun over game results.
Have their programming be specifically catered to them and their zone of proximal development that fits best for them. We use research-based strategies to work with sports psychologists and mental health specialists to inspire intrinsic motivation, learn how to engage parents because that can be difficult for coaches, and then create that mental and physical confidence through proper strength and conditioning techniques and injury prevention, and expand the focus beyond just what it is we do within our program and really reach out and leave a lasting impact within the community. So we've got teams such as this one right here. We have a bunch of different collection of athletes who go out and play in games and tournaments throughout greater Pacific Northwest, play in greater Seattle area. We'll take travel tournaments down to Portland. We've had tournaments in Vegas, Yakima, and looking into going into California this summer possibly. And we also have team building events and trainings together on a weekly basis. So that's kind of what the kids in our program are doing on the day-to-day.
Phoenix is a community. With our coaches, we kind of have a unique network, and we definitely try to use it to make sure that we create experience for our families and for our athletes that's just something they're not used to. Just like a really cool environment for everybody involved. Just a couple, for example, Center for Leadership in Athletics. It's an organization we work with, and they do a lot of coaches clinics and parent clinics for our community. They help us out with our communication and feedback to our kids and to our athletes and how to communicate with parents effectively and kind of create that really good relationship for our families. Recently we went to Portland for a trip. Usually the kids just play in a tournament, right? You just play your games, you just compete. We wanted to make it a little more holistic experience. So we have an NBA trainer friend who put on a clinic for our kids, and he kind of gave like just some advice on how to navigate your mind and your emotions during games, but how to use that also off the court as well. We went on a Nike tour in which one of our friends, she gave us a tour, and after she kind of taught our kids like what it takes to be a Nike athlete, but also what it takes to and what skills that you need to have to be able to work at Nike or find a career in a company like that. So kind of having that balance. In the beginning of the year at SU, our kids played at halftime. They scrimmaged at halftime, which we thought was really cool. Just kids get out on a college floor in front of a bunch of families. It was a really packed game, so we thought that was also cool as well.
Yeah, and recently the Center for Leadership in Athletics at University of Washington partnered with the Aspen Institute for something called Project Play, which is a nationwide initiative to get more kids active. Play stands for physical literacy for all youth. So recently I actually started working up as a research assistant with them about a month and a half ago. So that's been fun. So some of the ideas that we have in progress are to obtain year-round access to a facility. Gym time is our biggest constraint as an organization, so we want to solve that by finding a way to get year-round access to a facility. Are any of you familiar with the Bullitt Center? So for those, some of you are, some of you aren't. It's basically the greenest commercial building in the world. We want our facility to be the greenest sports facility in the world. We also want to increase programming for underserved communities. We're in conversations to do that with a couple different local stakeholders, improve access to recreational basketball. We're a select organization, but we want to expand our knowledge and expertise to the recreational side as well. We want to create field days and open gyms, stuff where basketball is there, but there's a focus on the greater community good, have stuff like art and science and music, and entertainment and food trucks all integrated within that. We're working on offsetting our carbon emissions from transportation to and from our practices and games. We think it'd be a really unique way to differentiate ourselves as a youth sports organization. We're also looking at starting a girls program. We've had individual trainings with female athletes, but we're looking at starting to have female teams as well. Want to work with international programs and camps. Both Victor and I have international connections that we're looking forward to utilizing, hopefully as soon as this upcoming summer. We've mentioned the individualized player development plans, which we're looking forward to rolling out. And then we are looking at rolling out a newsletter and a 3-point series where we get 3 pieces of advice from community leaders. So that's a lot of ideas in progress in order to get the help of all of that. The other idea we have is a mentorship program where we offer credit or volunteer hours for high school and college students looking to stay engaged with the local community organization.
And just to give a little background about our organizational history, in our phase 1, so I originally started Fenix September 2017. We really just wanted to kind of just get our feet wet and just kind of see like what the nature of AU basketball was like in Seattle. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and so it was just definitely trying to figure out like what we were trying to build. Was it going to build credibility with families, right? Is it something that families were interested in? As we moved into phase 2, we just wanted to figure out, okay, is what we're doing, is it working? And that's the phase that we're in currently right now. Our phase 3, as we look at it, we want to be able to use a lot of the programming and a lot of the experiences that we had and to be able to put it into a facility that's operational and that's sustainable. Currently, like Dylan said, like gym availability is pretty tough in Seattle, and it's one of our obstacles that we definitely have to combat a little bit.
So about our team, we, as we mentioned, we all go through coach training, resilience training. We're also all first aid, AED, CPR certified. And it's awesome to have a really diverse background of coaches with complementary skill sets who work together.
Yeah. So again, I'm Victor Johnson, I'm founder and I'm the Chief Experience Officer. And what I do is probably exactly kind of how it sounds, but my focus is to make sure that everybody involved in the Fenix program, so your families, your athletes, our partners, to making sure that they're having just the best experience, right? Our kids having a great time. Do they feel like they're getting better? Are they giving it their all? Are parents happy with their kid in our program? Like, do they feel like this is the great fit for them? You know, are our partners happy? Like, are we having like a win-win type of like partnership? You know, are we adding value to them? That's kind of the things that we look at. And we have a coach named Dan Pineda, originally from the Philippines. He's our director of digital marketing. He's very passionate about photography. So he just makes sure that our website and the images that we're always putting up are just always just cool and just just pretty good quality. But yeah.
Another coach, Tyrese, who works with player development. He's also currently getting his doctorate in performance psychology, so it's great to have someone with that background, knowledge, and skill set working with our kids every day. And then, like I said, I'm Dylan. My title is with Program Innovation and Sustainability. So I'm the idea guy. I already told you a lot about our ideas before. So I'm the guy that's throwing nonstop ideas at Victor and figuring out how we can continue to build and grow this organization into something that's positive and leaves a lasting impact throughout the community. So we know that you guys throw this question at us, so we just prepared it for you, and we'll kind of just leave this up here and kind of open it up for dialogue. So that's a little bit about us, and thanks for giving us the time to talk to you guys.